Hi everyone, my name is Tech Alberto, and in today's video we're going to be going over 20 things about the Nintendo Switch 2 we already know. Before this video starts, I'd just like you all to leave a like and subscribe, as we're nearly at 20 subscribers, but I'm aiming to get to 100 by the end of February, so I'd really appreciate the support. Thank you. Okay, so let's begin. Firstly, we have a bigger screen. We're going from 6.2 inches to a whopping 8 inches. I think that's going to be incredible, especially compared to most handhelds now, how they have a substantially larger screen than the original Switch did. Comparing to handhelds such as the Asus Royale and the Steam Deck, where they have about 7 inches, I believe. And this is going to be perfect for handheld gaming, and especially on the go. 8 inches is just so perfect to have in your hands at one time. Wait, please into that context. So next, the Joycons are a lot bigger now, and I think they're a lot more stretched out than they were before. I wasn't a huge fan of how small the Joycons were, and I'm a lot happier that they're going to be a lot more comfortable for people with bigger hands such as myself. I have very big hands, so yeah, it's going to be perfect. And also, I do like the design they're going for with these ones. I like the fact that they have this kind of bit of a chunk on the end to them, and then it allows you to stretch your fingers a lot more, and that's so you can clip the SR and SL buttons, and I think that's perfect. At number 3, the Kickstand is bigger and allows you to flatten the system, so this time it rotates a full 180 degrees, which is a lot better for games like 51 Worldwide Games, Mario Party, and Mario Kart as well. I see myself utilising this quite a bit, especially when I go out for meals with people or go and meet people who are also into video games, etc. And people like myself who are very into 51 Worldwide Games and play that game quite often, so what do you guys think about this? Coming in at number 4, the Switch 2 has magnetic Joy-Cons. I think this is a great idea, as the rails on the old system, or the original, were a bit faulty and I had many issues with them. One of the issues I actually had was that my right rail completely stopped responding after a while, so hopefully with these magnetic ones they should have a bit more time when it comes to how quickly they wear, but with the original Switch I had a lot of problems, so this magnetic idea is perfect. This is also very similar to what the Lenovo Legion Go is doing. This one is quite an obvious one, and one which you wouldn't really hear a lot, but the Switch 2 does have a new volume and power button, and these do look a lot more clicky than the old ones, because the originals were a bit more spongy, and they felt a bit more kind of plasticky and cheap, and these ones look very sleek, and they kind of are a bit more in the console, if you know what I mean. I don't really know how to describe it, but they look a lot more neat, and I think they really make the top of the console look really tidy, so I'm very happy about that. At number 6, the Switch 2 has a USB-C port on the top of the system, and I believe this is for handheld charging. I think this is a way better design than what they were going for with the Switch 1, or, I like the way that they're utilising that small area to put USB-C port there. I like that when I can sit there, I can play my system and not have a big cable bumping into my crotch, which is, going to be a lot more comfortable than, having to experience that. So I'm very happy about this. At number 7, we have an issue which I was so irritated about on the Switch OLED, because the Switch OLED was almost perfect, but this is the one thing that put it down, is that the game card slot has a place to put your fingernail now, so you can actually pop it open, instead of having to get a guitar pick or something thin to open it. I hated that with the Switch OLED. I absolutely despised that. And finally, Nintendo are fixing it with this system. It just makes me ridiculously happy that they've actually solved a problem here with the Switch OLED. At number 8, the Switch 2 supposedly still uses an LCD screen, which I think is okay, but it at least needs to be 1080p, and I think Nintendo really need to make the effort here to potentially get OLED models out sooner rather than later. They could very well follow Steam's model, where they decide to release the OLED a year after, but you are running the risk of pissing off your consumers. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think they should potentially release this with an OLED screen or an LCD? And I know what the answer is going to be. At number 9, Nintendo is including a button which potentially allows for a new function. Now, people have speculated this is for chatting, social media, this Vidmeo app which was rumoured a little while ago. Do you know what I believe it's for? I believe it's just some weird button they're adding that works with some games. It's a bit of a gimmick, sort of like the IR sensor, which I will be getting into later in this video. But I believe this is going to be something that they use for some games, but isn't really a huge feature, and I think people are definitely over-speculating on it. Number 10, Joy-Cons have a new optical sensor. I think this is a very strange move from them, but if you watch how people have demoed it, it makes so much sense. If you just have the mouse controlling Samus in Prime 4, and then you have the Joy-Con as like a look-around button, it just works so perfectly. And I think this is going to be a really good way for them to go forward with the future of their games. Also, please bring back Mario Paint. I'd love to see that. At 11, this is a very relieving one. The Switch still has a audio jack, and I was very worried that they were going to remove this, considering a lot of companies are going over to just Bluetooth only. I am very happy that Nintendo care about the audio in their games, and I like using the audio jack on my Switch sometimes still, especially when I'm playing portably. And I don't really think their Bluetooth feature works overly well, as there is still some delay in it, but hopefully they'll fix that with the new system. But this system does still have an audio jack, so for all the wired headphone users out there, you're safe. At number 12, the Switch 2 still has some backwards compatibility, but not with all games, so some are going to be excluded from this list. I'm guessing it's going to be things like 1-2 Switch, where you did need that sensor on the bottom if they're not including it, which wouldn't surprise me. Also, I do believe that Nintendo is going to go down the route of optimizing specific games for the Switch 2 that work a lot better on that system than they did on the Switch 1. There's going to be some games that are going to abandon. What do you guys think? Coming in at number 13, Nintendo has a new dock design for the Switch 2, and I like this a lot more than the original, as it doesn't cover the whole screen and you can still see a fraction of it at the top. A lot of people are saying this part of the screen is going to be used to show weather, time, things happening with Nintendo, etc. So just basic tiny pieces of news, but who knows? I wonder what Nintendo are going to use this new dock for and how it benefits the new Switch. I believe it's going to have a slightly larger board for the supposed 4K output or enhanced output they're going to be putting into the system. What do you guys think? At number 14, the Switch 2 removes the Joy-Con slight curve they had at the top. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Joy-Cons have a slight bit of open area at the top, which does make it look a bit janky and a bit outdated nowadays. I think a lot of systems began to patch this when the Lenovo Legion Go came out, and it just looked quite sleek. It just looked like it was all together in one. But because of the rails and the spacing at the top, Nintendo had to remove that section. So it's nice that we aren't having to have that kind of uglier design anymore, if you know what I mean. At number 15, like I was saying before, the IR sensor has been removed, and it is not in the trailers. I have a feeling they could add it back, but there was no actual use for it on the original Switch, which was weird. So I'm happy that they're going to potentially be experimenting with this new optical sensor feature, which will hopefully be used a heck of a lot more. We have no clue yet. At number 16, the Switch 2 has a microphone on top of the system, which I think is going to be used in game chat, in contacts with your friends, etc. I think this could work really well if Nintendo want to get more into the kind of Xbox sphere of things, where they're going to start utilizing online chats instead of having to use a phone app, which is very outdated at this point. But I'm very happy Nintendo is going in this direction. At number 17, getting into the games now. So we've now seen that Mario Kart 9 is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We don't know if it's called Mario Kart 9 yet, but it's going to be launching with or not long after the system. And it's going to be quite a big game. It's hopefully going to be a launch title. But we've seen a few little pieces of information. We've seen that there's a new map. It's got an old art style of Donkey Kong, and the models have been slightly changed to have a more sort of old style kind of... I think they're more or less going for the N64 style of things, but we'll have to wait and see. Continue with the Switch 2 games. Mario Kart 9 has a 24-player mode, and this is going to be so big for the community, as we've been waiting for this for so long. And I believe that this is going to be something we see a lot more in future Mario Karts as well, and it also allows for online play to be extended a heck of a lot more for people. So what do you guys think about this? At number 19, Nintendo Switch 2 details are coming on the 4th of April of this year. I do feel like it's going to be a million miles where it's going to feel like that, but it will come well before we know it, and I do think that Nintendo are going to be showing off a lot of things about the system at this whole direct kind of reveal. And also, I do believe they are going to be showing off some games as well, such as Mario Kart 9 and whatever else they have lined up. Kind of hoping for Animal Crossing as well, but we have to keep our fingers crossed for now. And finally, at number 20, Nintendo is hosting events worldwide to come test out the system a little while, or hopefully not long before it releases. And I'm very happy that they're doing this, because they're doing this worldwide now, and I've also applied for the tickets in London, so hopefully I get the chance to go and play it a little while before it releases. One other thing that's very significant about this event as well is that they're going to be hopefully letting us play some of the games which they announced too, which is a thing that also very much excites me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was 20 facts about the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal and what we already know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, like I said earlier, remember to subscribe and also leave a like. I'm hoping to grow to 100 subscribers by the end of February, as I stated before, so please show your support if you can, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.